Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys, brought to you by the National Hockey Now Network. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, presented by National Hockey Now. Thursday, May 25th, Ian Cameron. I promised to have a lighter, cooler temperature for the show today than I had yesterday. Obviously, Jamie Benn pissed me off a ton. We're a little calmer. We're a little more relaxed today, starting the Thursday edition of the Ice Guys show. But Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and another guest joining us today, pro hockey player Jordan Sambrook, with us on the show today. Jordan, welcome to the Ice Guys. How are you doing?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. Good to have you with us. So as always, first-time guest. Let's get into the Jordan Sambrook story, if you will. The hockey journey, how you got into it, where you've been. Obviously, junior hockey. Some really, really good teams you played with in Erie, with the Otters in the Ontario Hockey League. I mean, you're throwing out names like teammates of yours in your Erie days, Jordan. I mean, Alex DeBrincat, Warren Fogle, both Radish brothers, Taylor Radish and Darren Radish, who are both in the NHL right now, of course. And there's another one you met. Dylan Strome. Dylan Strome on that team. That was a pretty damn good Erie Otters team. Never mind the McDavid teams from way before that. Those Erie Otters teams that you played for, Jordan, pretty damn good.
Yeah, they were real good. Yeah, obviously to start my journey there, I was drafted by Erie, and what an honor that was. I had no idea. I talked to Erie and I talked to London and I talked to Barrie. So I talked to 3 OHL teams before my OHL draft. So I was kind of thinking there's no way I'm going to get picked and everything. But fortunately enough, I was. And then that kind of brought me to the first year there. And I was with McDavid at that first camp, as you mentioned there. And it was pretty cool seeing him. But then made the team my second year. And like I said, that year we had a really good team as well. We went to the conference finals. We lost to London Knights in the conference finals, who had Tkachuk and Marner and Christian Dvorak as their top line. So
that team was fucking good. That London team. Wow.
They were real good.
Fact.
But yeah, so that was a good year. Then brought me into my second year, and that was the year we won the OHL championship. And the names you just mentioned there, like I said to you to earlier there, that might have been one of the best junior hockey teams to ever be assembled. And we ended up losing the Memorial Cup finals to the Windsor Spitfires, who lost in the first round of the playoffs, but they were a good team nonetheless. They had some pretty big names on that team as well. Then going to my third year, I started off with Erie, then I traded to Sault Ste. Marie, and ended up going to the finals there as well. We ended up losing to Hamilton Bulldogs in the finals.
My team, we got you that year.
Yeah, you guys got us. But that was a good series, like I said. Another good 2 teams going at it there, and finished off my OHL career in the Sioux after 4 years. And after my first year, I was lucky enough to be drafted by the Red Wings, drafted to Detroit, and it was a pretty cool experience as well. The draft was in Buffalo, so nice and close for me, and had my whole family come down there, and it was an awesome experience. Like I said, I had no idea really where I was going to go. I was just...
That's got to be a great feeling, right? No sweat whatsoever getting the entire Sambrook clan down there to support you, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Nice and easy. Nice hour and a half drive from Toronto. And like I said, didn't know where I was going to go. I had people saying I was going in the second round, had people saying I was going in the 7th round, had people saying I wasn't going to get picked. So it was pretty nerve-wracking sitting there. But once I heard my name in the 5th round, there was obviously a huge honor and something that I'll cherish forever.
Absolutely. You get your name called on an NHL draft floor. It is a moment in time that will something that'll last forever. You'll remember forever. And the last few years, of course, you mentioned Florida Everblades. We were talking about that. They've been an ECHL juggernaut. They've been the Detroit Red Wings of that league, where I think they've missed the playoffs just once in the last 25 years. You were saying Florida Everblades have been, and they're still playing right now. If you're paying attention to ECHL hockey right now, they're in the conference finals against the Newfoundland Growlers right now. So they're still alive to win another Kelly Cup. They won it last year. So they're really looking to go back-to-back, that Florida team. But you played there. How fun was that experience? And, of course, now you're with Kansas City in that league.
Yeah, that was awesome. Obviously, so coming out of junior hockey, I played 1 year at Brock University for U Sports. Didn't really know. I obviously wanted an NHL deal because my OA year there, I would have been a free agent after Detroit didn't sign me. So I was looking for an NHL deal. Didn't get one. Tried to pick up a couple AHL deals, but they kind of fell through at the last minute. And so just decided to go to U Sports and start my U Sports career and get my education package there. So I went there my first year, had a good year. I think we lost in the second round to University of Guelph. And then the second year was the COVID year. My second year there was the COVID year. Yeah. So our season got canceled, then decided to go play pro because the ECHL was still playing. So no stopping the ECHL. But yeah, I signed with Florida. When they reached out to me and asked if I wanted to come play, I said this is a no-brainer, especially during COVID times because Florida was pretty wide open and everything, no restrictions and all that.
Yeah, you knew you would be able to keep your career going there. That's for sure. Florida was business as usual, 2020, 2021. Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, I decided to come down here, and I didn't play a whole lot, but it was just a really good experience. We had a really good team here. The D-Corps was like stacked with veterans that were good players. So didn't play a whole lot, but got the experience and the ice time technically at that point to be able to, continue my career, further my career, and still keep up with some good players. And then, I guess the last year, 2 years ago, was the year we won and got to play a whole lot. They kind of reassured me after that first year that, they really wanted me back. And then I said, you had me right on the spot, really. They didn't have to say too much to try and lure me back in. But
you felt like you made a pretty solid, at least decent contribution to that championship team. That's good.
Yeah. I played quite a bit, and I'm kind of more, as we were mentioning there earlier, my points were more so in junior. Now in pro, I'm kind of more of a defensive, I guess, D-man, where I'm kind of solidifying the penalty kill, kind of that sort of role. So I felt like I did a good job for them there, and obviously we had a good team, and we went on to win the Telly Cup last year, and it was a great experience. I won one in junior there, as I mentioned, and now winning one in pro in my first full year was pretty cool. And then got traded to Kansas City 3 days after we won, so it's a quick turnaround. But
they didn't let you celebrate very long. It's like, you're gone. Yeah.
No, yeah, our team was still celebrating, doing all the stuff with the cup and all that. And I'm obviously still celebrating with them, but it's kind of weird in a way. Like now I'm not on this team anymore. Because obviously I was planning to go back to Florida after you win. I was planning to come back unless I moved up to the AHL or whatever. But yeah, I went to KC, and it was a pretty good year there. We lost in the first round, but I had to play a lot. Got to play power play, penalty kill, and it was a great group of guys up there. So yeah, I think that was KC hadn't made the playoffs in like 3 or 4 years, so it was nice for us.
There you go. You got him back into the postseason.
It was nice for us to do that.
Yeah, that's good. That's always fun to be part of a team that hasn't enjoyed much recent success, and then you show up there and you put things together enough that you got yourself into a playoff position. And yeah, obviously you wanted to go further than the first round, but still, all things considered, a solid season, especially for a team that had missed the playoffs 2 years in a row. So Alex is a Chicago Blackhawks fan. You got to play with Alex DeBrincat, of course, with the Erie Otters. I think I know the answer, Jordan, because he's a teammate of yours. You know him well. The Chicago Blackhawks fuck up royally, trading him away?
I think so, yeah, especially with how young he is. And, he was like the nicest guy, too. He's like pretty quiet guy, like doesn't really – not really out loud or anything, just goes about his business and really dialed in, really focused. And I think, that trading him was, it's kind of a weird situation where they're going for a rebuild, but like you trade one of your younger guys that are like, I didn't really understand that one.
Yeah, it made no sense. And especially now when you look at, winning the lottery this year, just how great of a combo could you have already to start off with, having Connor Bedard and Alex DeBrincat. Next thing you know, maybe Patrick Kane comes back. You could be building something right there, right off the rip. At least have one good line to roll with, even though this rebuild is going to take a couple more years. So, yeah, trade's looking from bad to worse, honestly.
Yeah.
I didn't think it made any sense at all, because rebuild means you're jettisoning out bad contracts, older players, veterans. Alex DeBrincat doesn't check any of those boxes, okay? And he is someone that you could have helped build around, and yet he ended up getting dealt, of course, at the end of the day to Ottawa. So I still don't get that to this day. It's still shocking to me that ended up happening. And you're right. And now the thought of maybe missing out on a Bedard and DeBrincat combination in Chicago. I mean, Chicago's certainly feeling good about getting Bedard. There's no doubt. And I think he could have played with DeBrincat. Definitely kind of disappointed. Before we get into everything NHL and Stanley Cup playoffs, and of course we'll begin talking about last night and a series clinching victory for the Florida Panthers, 4 straight over the Carolina Hurricanes. We were on the air for the Betcast during the game last night, and what a finish that was. We'll definitely recap that in just a second. We did find, and we do this with a lot of our player guests the first time that they're with us. We went into the vault. We went into the highlight reel, if you will. We did find something on our guy, Jordan Sambrook, here on to present to everybody here on the show. So let me just see if I can find it here. Now, this clip, I believe, for Jordan here is from a prospect tournament that he was involved with a few years ago. So let me just cue it up here. And this was in 2018. Traverse City, Michigan was the site of it. And I believe this was a game, as we see here, you were playing for the, I believe, the Jackets that year. And there it is. Here's the clip right here. This is Jordan Sambrook doing some of his crafty work right here. So here he is, down the left wing side. Backhand ripped through the old wickets.
Did not think that was going to score. I remember that one vividly. I did not think that was going in for sure. Especially like that poke check in the middle there. I was like just hoping to poke the puck forward, really. And it worked out pretty good. I'm not sure where the D-man was going there, but
is that one of those deals where you're like, that's got no shot in hell of going in the net when I let it go, and then all of a sudden, hey!
Basically, yeah. Especially in like an NHL prospect tournament. Maybe if I was back in like summer hockey with my buddies or something, but NHL prospect tournament, I did not think that was going to go in. But fortunate enough, I actually had a pretty good tournament that tournament too. When I went there twice before, obviously with Detroit, and then after they didn't sign me, Columbus invited me to their prospect tournament and then main camp as well. And it was funny. I think I had like a point per game, like 4 points, 4 games or something. And then I had a good camp as well. And then Tortorella was the coach there that year. And when I met with him, when they sent me back, they said I had a really good camp, but they said I didn't have a great prospect tournament. So I was kind of like interested in my head. Like I was like, maybe
they did score a goal there. You know that, right? You didn't see that? You weren't napping, were you? Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I thought I had a really good prospect tournament. I put up points, and I thought I was playing physical. And I don't know, maybe they must have saw something I didn't see. But no, that was a cool experience and cool to score that goal for sure.
Sounds like as a defenseman, you've got similar characteristics in your game. Now, I'm not trying to put you on the same pedestal as this guy, who coincidentally enough got his head taken off last night in the game by Sam Bennett, but you've got some elements of Jacob Slavin in your game where you can be steady at both ends of the ice. You man the defensive end, especially now, as you say, you've gotten later in your pro career, man the defensive end of the ice, take care of your shit in the defensive zone. And then, if there's opportunities to, move the puck up the ice or get involved in the rush, you will. But you've got that kind of Slavin element where defense first, but hey, if you need to jump up into the play and shoot the puck, you can do it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's kind of spot on there. And I always used to say whenever the executives in the NHL would ask me, I always used to say I compared my game to Pietrangelo. Figure enough, he's in the conference final here as well. But that's what I always just compare myself to. I feel like he's kind of the same way. And yeah, I think you got spot on there on the way I play.
No doubt. Alex, I'll just throw it right to you right away rather than me go on a spiel for 5 minutes, which I typically do when I recap these games. We'll give you the first crack at it. I mean, Carolina, Florida last night, incredible job by the Florida Panthers. A phenomenal ending. What a thrilling conclusion. Does it get more thrilling than that? 4 seconds left. Matthew Tkachuk, who else, with the series-winning goal, his 3rd game-winning goal of the series. Are you kidding me? Talk about Mr. Clutch. What a job by the Panthers. And, frustrating, Alex, for Carolina, but Florida made it frustrating on them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, and Florida, showing the killer instinct when it mattered the most. They were dominating play for most of the contest, and they didn't get phased, didn't get rattled when they gave up the tying goal, kept their composure. And like I said, Matthew Tkachuk, who's been the lifeblood of this team throughout this postseason run, He's only now the 5th player to score 3 game-winning goals in the same series, the first to do it since Dustin Byfuglien back in the 2010 conference final when the Hawks beat San Jose. So that's just a great company to be in line with. And now Florida, I mean, they can rest and wait, see who they're going to get, most likely facing against the Vegas Golden Knights. And it should be an interesting cup final for sure. But like I said, it's just hats off to Florida. No one thought they were going to get through Boston. And once they, were able to take them down, they just had that momentum rolling their way. Knocked out Toronto after the run they had to get out of the first round finally, and then just continued it on with Carolina. So beating the 3 best teams in the East, they're proving that they belong here. And there's a reason why they were celebrating, skating off of that Prince of Wales trophy, because they truly earned it.
Yeah, I don't mind this. This is just a bunch of bullshit and a bunch of BS and a bunch of crap when I hear it about you don't touch the Prince of Wales trophy. Don't touch the Campbell Conference trophy on the other side. Don't touch that. No, I mean, I don't buy into the superstitions there. If they want to enjoy it, touch the trophy, take pictures with it. That's fine. You're not going to lose the Stanley Cup final because you touch the trophy. Okay.
I think it depends.
That shit at all.
I honestly think it depends. I think it depends on the organization. Yeah. Hawks didn't touch the Campbell Bowl in the 3 years that they won it. They won. Pittsburgh, picked up and touched it. They went back to back. You've seen Tampa Bay, go 2 out of 3 when they touch it. So I think it depends on the franchise, and I think every franchise has a different, kind of theme, and you have to honor that.
Think about Carolina too. First of all, for me, when it comes to Florida, Matthew Tkachuk, sensational. Bobrovsky, sensational. Maybe not the absolute best game from Bobrovsky last night, but when because he gave up 3 goals, but at the end of the day, when he had to make saves, he made them. And he still made a couple big ones when it was 3-2 Florida. Now, eventually they tied it, but he still made a couple of really great saves in the course of that game because Carolina kept on pushing with their season on the line, knowing it was win or go home for them. He still played well. And I've say it again about this blue line. There's no way that on paper, and we'll get Jordan's thoughts in a second on this, to me on paper, there's no way Florida's blue line 1 through 6 is as deep as Carolina's. But what the Florida Panthers have gotten in this series is those bottom defensemen, Josh Mahura, Radko Gudas. I mean, these guys are playing out of their fucking skull, okay? They are just playing absolutely the best hockey I've ever seen out of them. I'm seeing Radko Gudas give up the puck in the neutral zone. I'm like, there's the Radko Gudas I know last night, turn over in the neutral zone. And he's not got the best foot speed, but man, did he just put his head down on a back check last night, or getting back after coughing up the puck, and he took away a chance from Martinook. And all hustle, all effort to get back there and negate what would have been a prime scoring chance for Martinook during that game last night. That's the kind of work and the kind of play you're getting right now from Radko Gudas, Mahura, and some of these bottom depth defensemen for the Florida Panthers. We all know how good Montour is, and we all know how good Ekblad is, and Forsling's pretty good as well. But what they have gotten from the other guys on that blue line, it's made up for whatever lack of depth we thought Florida had in this series compared to Carolina's blue line, or Toronto's blue line for that matter in the second round, or Boston's blue line in the first round. They've just gotten this 6 to play above their heads. Like maybe they're playing over their heads. Maybe this is not sustainable next year and beyond, that Gudas and Mahura and these guys can be that good. But right now they are that good. They're playing that good. They're playing with confidence. They're playing some of the best hockey of their lives. And that's why Florida's here. And then, of course, they got their big gun stepping up offensively. And again, Aho last night, I saw him, John, at the refs more than putting the puck in the net, and unfortunately, I hate to say it because he's a great player, but he didn't have a great series and he didn't produce, and they needed a lot more out of him in that series for the Carolina Hurricanes. Just like Natchez was pretty quiet in that series. They didn't get enough from their top forwards. But I will say this about Carolina. They went out on their sword. Okay, they went down, kicking and screaming and battling right till the end. Think about the fact that Jacob Slavin gets pulverized by Sam Bennett early in that game, doesn't come back. That's their best defenseman. He plays in all situations, even strength, power play, penalty kill, logs the most minutes on that blue line. They're without him for the rest of the game. They end up seeing Natchez take a puck from Brent Burns' shot, friendly fire, if you will. He ends up leaving the game for a bit. He did eventually come back. Stefan Nason, who's been a great presence for Carolina in these playoffs, He ends up leaving the game due to injury. So there was a point they were down 2 forwards and their best defenseman last night in that game. And yet there they were tying the game 3-3 with under 3 minutes to go, only to see Matthew Tkachuk put it in the net with 4 seconds left in that series. I mean, just you got to give Carolina credit. They battled tooth and nail right to the end. They could have, what's funny? This was a Florida 4-game sweep. It could have been a Carolina 4-game sweep, or at the very least, it could have been 3-1 Carolina after last night's game. That is how thin the margin was between these two teams. But regardless, Florida kept finding a way to win those coin flip games and win those tough, close 1-goal decisions, and Carolina didn't. And that ended up being the series in the end. But credit to Carolina for still a good season, battling till the end, not having Andrei Svechnikov as well. Let's be real, that finally caught up to them as well in the conference finals. But even more credit to Florida. Outstanding run. Paul Maurice, congratulations. He's always been one of my favorite coaches. Affable, honest, great press conferences because he bears his soul out to the media, it seems. He gives you everything you could ask for, emotion, information, real honest assessment of his hockey team in every press conference. And I applaud Paul Maurice for that. He's always been one of my favorite press conference listens from any head coach in the NHL. So congrats to him. He's into the Stanley Cup final now for the second time in his career and looking for that elusive first Stanley Cup championship. Jordan, what were your thoughts on that game last night and the series overall as Florida sweeps away Carolina?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I didn't watch the entire game last night, but I watched bits and pieces of it there. And yeah, I honestly, it's kind of felt like the Leafs series a little bit, where I felt like maybe Carolina might be able to squeak this one out and hopefully bring it back to Carolina for Game 5. But I think Florida, as you mentioned there, they play so good as a team. They have a bit of everything. They got guys that can score, guys that can hit, guys that can hit and score. So I think just as a team, they're so good. And obviously Matthew Tkachuk there, obviously he's a huge gamer, as Paul Maurice said, and him scoring that with 4 seconds left and having those 2 overtime ones, and one of the best celebrations, I think, in overtime when he calls his team off the ice. That's hilarious. I think that one's so good. But yeah, just with him, and honestly, yeah, they're looking like unstoppable right now. I think they're going to go on to win the Cup.
I mean, it's like they feel like they're on this magic carpet ride that's not going to end until they hoist the Stanley Cup. It feels that way about this Florida team. Here's the devil's advocate, though, and the counter argument to that. I just saw something they put up on either TNT or Sportsnet last night during the post game, and they said that teams that just the last team to get in the playoffs, or the team that got into the playoffs with the fewest regular season points, that the last 2 times those teams have gotten to the Stanley Cup final, it was Nashville, I believe, in 2016 against Pittsburgh, and Nashville lost in the Stanley Cup final. It was Montreal, just a couple of years ago after the pandemic against Tampa Bay, and they lost in the Stanley Cup final. So that would be Florida. If they follow that pattern, Florida, maybe do they lose in the Stanley Cup final as well? I don't think you can make too big of a deal of that, but the last 2 times that we've seen the team with the least amount of regular season points in the Stanley Cup final, they lost in the Stanley Cup final. So maybe that's a sign. Maybe Florida won't get it done. But boy, I mean, this magic they've got going, it's really hard to believe at the moment that they're not going to get it done. It just seems like they can do no wrong, at this point in time. There's no question about that. And like I say, credit. Yeah, Sam, that was a clean hit. That was a clean hit by Sam Bennett. It's an unfortunate, awful result, with Slavin's head hitting the boards, which is what probably got him that concussion and why he didn't return in the game last night. But there's no doubt it was a clean hit. You can't say, dirty play by Sam Bennett. It was just a good, hard, open ice hockey hit, and just with a bad result, unfortunately, last night for Jacob Slavin in that game. But great job by the Florida Panthers as they roll on now to the Stanley Cup final, and they will be awaiting the winner of tonight's game, or I shouldn't say tonight's game, the winner of this series. They could be getting the winner of tonight's game if indeed the Vegas Golden Knights end up sweeping the Dallas Stars tonight here in Game 4, but we will definitely get to that in just a moment. Shout out to everyone watching live on YouTube. Hit the like button, and shout out as well to our podcast listeners. We will be back to tee up and preview Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals with Vegas and Dallas coming up after we hear from Gramco.
Support for the Ice Guys is brought to you by Gramco. Whether you or your team's game is on the field, screen, racetrack, court, or the ice, Gramco is for the game. Grown by farmers who spent years developing premium hemp genetics, Gramco provides customers with consistent quality Delta 8 THC products ready for any occasion. Gramco currently offers numerous Delta 8 products, including vape cartridges, disposable vapes, pre-rolls, gummies, wake and bake coffee, and more. Gramco offers an enjoyable, legal high delivered discreetly and directly to you. Gramco is also available at many American retailers as well. You can get the best Delta 8 cannabis products on the market shipped quickly and discreetly from Gramco. And if you visit www.thegramco.com, use promo code IceGuys, you will get 20% off of every order, and any order that's on the site over $50 will be shipped free with standard shipping. So live elevated with Gramco and check out their wonderful Delta 8 products today.
All right, we are back here on the Ice Guys show, and it is time now to turn our attention to Game 4, Western Conference Finals. Is this the final game of the conference finals? Are we really going to see 2 fucking sweeps in the conference finals? Really? Are we really going to see this? And we just might. It's Vegas and Dallas. I never in a million years thought this series in particular would go 4 straight, particularly for Vegas. But here we are with even money, minus 110 now, both sides. 5.5 the total. And I'll say this right now. This line did not open at minus 110 in this game. In fact, Dallas opened as a minus 130 favorite here in Game 4. So there are a lot of people thinking, stick a fork in Dallas. They're done. Because now we're seeing it close to even money here on both sides. Hard to argue against that. It really is. I mean, I saw a Dallas team that looked a little physically and mentally and emotionally shot, quite honestly, at the end of Game 3. The way that game went, the way their bonehead captain acted in that game with the cross-check and the stick to the head and neck area of Mark Stone, you just can't do it. You harm your team. You put your team behind the 8 ball. You cost them. Like I say, he had at that moment, he's got to think twice about what he's doing, and he didn't. He let the heat of the moment get to him, the emotion, and he unraveled. And he had a meltdown right there doing that. Took himself out of the game, took his team out of the game with that 5-minute major. Vegas added to their lead because of that. It was just awful stuff from Jamie Benn. And then he compounded the mistake because I'll tell you, too, and I said this yesterday, he wasn't thinking of a guy like Joe Pavelski when he did that shit to Mark Stone, and he should have. Joe Pavelski's here, desperate at this point of his career to win a Stanley Cup. Desperate. Okay, how many close calls has he had going back to when he was with San Jose? He got to a cup final one year with San Jose. He's been one of the best players in the NHL currently, in my opinion, to not win a Stanley Cup, Joe Pavelski. And he's close again, 8 wins away from a Stanley Cup. And Jamie Benn decides, you know what? I'm going to rob my own teammate who deserves a Stanley Cup more than anybody of the best chance possible to win a Stanley Cup, because really the game was over after he did that. They made it 2-0 on that 5-minute major that Ben took, and then 3-0 after that. And by then it was game over. Vegas is too disciplined and too stringent defensively to come back, when you have that kind of start. And just an awful, awful display by Ben, who compounded his mistake with not talking to the media at all, and then making a little quick getaway out the back door like he robbed a jewelry store, which was absolutely heinous in my opinion. And then after that, you'd think it was bad enough. The 5-minute major, the selfish play on the ice, the selfish act that he committed, not saying shit to anybody after the game, letting Pete DeBoer, Sagan, and Pavelski be the fall guy for his ridiculous actions and his brutal mistake. If you think that was bad, he finally talks to the media yesterday and says, well, you know what? If I could have something back, it would be, that I wouldn't use him as a landing spot. There's no landing spot that says crush your damn stick into the guy's head. Okay, there's no landing spot that says that that's a legit landing spot. None at all. That's just a ridiculous excuse. We didn't hear anything from him about, I'm sorry, I put my team in a bad spot. I really, really screwed up. I owe it to them to be better than that. You didn't hear any of that. No accountability, no responsibility, no taking ownership for what he did. And rightfully so, he's gotten a 2-game suspension. He acted like a little rat the other night, sneaking out the back door so he couldn't say anything to the media after Game 3. So it's very fitting that, as I said on Twitter, the rat bastard gets 2 games and suspended for it. No, I'm disgusted by what he did. For a captain to act like that from start to finish, commit that act on Stone, not say anything to the media, and then give this lame-ass, pathetic, laughable joke of an excuse that, it was a landing spot for me. That's how it ended up happening on Mark Stone. It's ridiculous. No responsibility at all. And that's your captain acting like that. I always say, and Jordan, you can talk about this. You've been in a room before, in a dressing room scenario. If the general leads, the troops will follow. If the captain leads the way he should, by example, the troops will follow in line. And I think if Jamie Benn had said something along the lines of, my mistake, my bad, but I believe in this team, I'll make it up to them. If I get back on the ice after this suspension, I'll be better. And I believe in my teammates he's got to say stuff like that, not this lame ass mumbo jumbo excuse making for making one of the dumbest decisions you've ever made, in a hockey game to do that. But we didn't hear that. And because he didn't say that anything like that, players are thinking, well, do they give more in this potential comeback effort down 3-0 if Ben conducts himself in a much better manner? You have to ask yourself, but he conducted himself in the worst manner possible. And you have to wonder now if this team is deflated because of it. How do you rally around a captain that just did what he did and acted after the fact the way he did? How do you rally around that? So you're right. People in the chat saying Dallas looks depleted. They look dejected. There was no pushback from the Stars at all once they got down 4-0 the other night against Vegas. So I haven't bet the side. I don't think I will, but I ain't on Dallas tonight. Not at all. Not a chance. In fact, I'd lean Vegas, maybe a sprinkle on the draw perhaps, but this is kind of like last night. I don't have a strong feel on the side. I'd lean Vegas though. I'm done trusting Dallas. I don't trust Dallas. I think the way they looked at the end of Game 3, they looked crestfallen. They look like they're ready for their season end now, quite honestly. And I love the way Vegas is playing. I love Aiden Hill and the way he's playing. The defense is playing well in front of him. And I like the personality and the good character, just the good guy, the good dude type of vibe I get from Aiden Hill. Did you hear what he said after the game last night? Some moron in the crowd chucks a bag of popcorn at his head as he's going out to the ice for the third period. Some jackass. I don't even know who it was because they never showed him on camera. But someone chucks a bag of popcorn at Aiden Hill as he's going onto the ice. You know what Aiden Hill said in the press conference? And then asked, what did you feel about, getting a bag of popcorn thrown at you? He said, well, I guess everything was just hitting me tonight. It was a great line.
That's awesome.
Referencing the shutout that he had, that every puck was hitting him from the Dallas Stars. What a response. Bravo, Aiden Hill. Funny story, too, Jordan, is Alex actually hung out with Aiden Hill's father when they were in town in Minnesota. It was like a dad trip. Yeah, Alex is in Minnesota right now. Vegas was in town to play the Wild. It was a dad's trip. And he ended up just running into Aiden Hill's dad, and ended up, I think, having a beer or so. With him there.
It was a group of the dads, and we were all down there watching. We're watching Dallas and Minnesota. They were in Dallas and then flying home the next night to play Vegas. And so it was a bunch of different dads, and Jack Eichel even walked down as well and stuff. But it was mostly me and Aiden's dad just sitting there, just shooting the shit, having a few beers, and he was the one that kind of stuck around longer than some of the other dads when they were going up to their room. So it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was. And so Aiden Hill, we're kind of Aiden Hill fans now, bigger Aiden Hill fans than we were before, just because of that. But no, he's played well. Like, I don't think he had to be spectacular like Dominic Hasek or Marty Brodeur caliber in Game 3, but he had a shutout. He still made a couple of really great saves when Dallas did have some great chances, and they protected him well. Like, they're defending extremely well. I mean, Jordan, Pietrangelo, Martinez, Shea Theodore, Zach Whitecloud, Nick Hague. I've just absolutely reveled over this blue line for a very long time. That 1 through 6, that Vegas Golden Knights back end is extremely strong, and they are showing it in this series. So for me, I lean Vegas, but I don't know if I'll pull the trigger. I am going to be on not the first period. I'm going to be on the full game over 5.5 tonight, as well as the third period over. And if you look back to last night, an elimination game for the first time in that Carolina-Florida series, both the full game and the third period over cashed last night between Carolina and Florida. So I'm going to the well with that tonight. Over 5.5, even money. as well as the third period over, which you can get over 2 at around even money plus 100 or so at Bet Rivers with that. Alex, what do you think here? Game 4, is it over tonight with Vegas and Dallas?
Yeah, it's over. It's a damn shame, but the Dallas run has come to an end. It seems like tonight, and the bets that I've made are kind of just trying to recoup some of the losses that I'm going to be looking at here with Dallas, with all the different futures that I have up. But like I said, if I can hit these 2 bets, it would kind of minimize that so much. So it's not necessarily a full on chase. I'm not trying to get back everything that I could have potentially won. I'm just trying to minimize how much I'm going to lose. So I'm taking a shot here with Vegas in regulation plus 145 and the reverse puck line laying the 1.5 at plus 240. By playing a unit each on those, that'll take care of some of those Conn Smythe bets that I made, some of the exact series bets that I made in this particular series. Still going to end up losing with having that future on the Western Conference and different things. So that's just kind of the way that I'm approaching it. But I just don't see, like I said, where Dallas gets their spark and energy from with the way that they lost Game 3. This wasn't they got crushed in double overtime, had a ton of chances and then they had a fluky goal. It wasn't like they got blown out 7-0 and got completely beaten down. No, they beat themselves early in that game, and Vegas just finished off the job. And that's pretty much what this is kind of boiled down to. Dallas has been beating themselves just as much, if not more, than Vegas beating them. But when you put the two combined together, Vegas is the better team right now, and I don't see them slowing down, nor do I see Dallas turning things around at any point tonight. So it's Vegas early and often, and they should be able to finish off the sweep tonight.
All right, there we go. And remember, Alex was on Florida last night against Carolina to finish off the Hurricanes in 4 games and finish the sweep. And Alex liking Vegas to complete the sweep as well tonight against the Dallas Stars. And unfortunately, it's Ice X against the world. Ice X is, I think, the only one in our chat and on this show that likes Dallas tonight. But I'll tell you what, there's a part of me that thinks, man, this team's too good to get swept, Dallas. Like the roster's too good, the team's too good. But I wonder if their heads and their psyche is just totally shot right now. I mean, that's my concern. I think if their heads are still in it, yeah, they can win tonight, at least extend the series. But I don't know about that right now. I really don't. I honestly don't. I'm honestly worried about that. Jordan, what do you think here? Game 4, Vegas, Dallas.
I'm gonna have to agree with you guys. I think Vegas finishes it off tonight. There's a part of me, like you said there, that's kind of, like I said, me being a Leafs fan, that's kind of leaning like how the Leafs played against Florida. Maybe they squeak one out here and bring it back to Game 5, but I think, I don't know. I think Vegas is too good. You mentioned their detour there. That one assist is just, it's insane. Honestly, you got 3-4 top 2 defensemen really in the league, and or top defenseman to be on any team. I just think they're too good. They can, like I said, they have a bit of everything. They can score. Jack Eichel's up there, kind of leading the charge. Mark Stone, Marchessault. They got Aiden Hill's playing real well, and I just think they're another team that's kind of on a mission to not be stopped. And honestly, I think if they win, which I think they will tonight, I almost guarantee they're going to win the series. I think looking forward to a Vegas Florida final is going to be, maybe not one that's very flashy on the news articles, but one that will be really good for hockey fans. Yeah,
no doubt. It's like I say, this Vegas team, they don't even need spectacular goaltending, quite honestly. They just need good goaltending. Make the saves you should, because I'll tell you what, that blue line will take care of Aiden Hill very well. And it's not just Jamie Benn. Yes, Cheshire Cat. Not just Jamie Benn out serving the 2-game suspension. Evgeny Dodonov is out as well. So that's your 2 forwards down tonight if you're the Dallas Stars going into this game. And look, the one thing that you always have to think in the back of your mind, it's the angle we've talked about all year, Alex and I, is the one thing that could be the fly in the ointment for Vegas tonight, finishing the sweep, is bounce back Ottinger off getting pulled. But we've already seen that, where he's had now at one point, for as good as a bounce back goalie as this guy has been for most of the season, this is now multiple games now in this series he's been pulled, and he's had a rough game. At what point does it get in your head a little bit and maybe shake your confidence a little bit? Because I think Jake Ottinger's confidence is shook. I mean, I can't believe how shaky he was to begin Game 3. He misplayed the puck behind the net leading to the first goal, which I think he was kind of off his angle. Second goal, same thing. Little off the angle on the Barbashev goal. And the third goal's got to be stopped. Ottinger normally, 99% of the time, he has that third shot from Carrier on the backhand short side. Can't go in. And it did. So you wonder if Ottinger, again, confidence-wise, is a little shaken for as good as he is right now going into this game tonight. It looks like, by the way, Robertson, Hintz, Pavelski, Kiviranta, Domi, and Sagan will be the top six. Marchment, Johnston, Delandria on the third line. Frederick Olofsson and Luke Glendening will draw in tonight, it looks like, on the fourth line for Dallas with Radek Faksa. So that looks like that's going to be your line combinations tonight for the Dallas Stars. And again, when you look at their blue line, I like Heiskanen, but he's played a lot of minutes. I think he's wearing down a bit. Suitors, going to make a mistake every now and then. We saw that in game 2. Lindell, Hakanpää, Harley, and Hanley, man, they just don't match what Vegas has on the blue line. It just don't in terms of depth. So that's something that we have definitely seen from the Dallas Stars in this series so far. Can't match the depth of the Vegas Golden Knights on the blue line. Yeah, I'm disappointed because I, like Alex, had Dallas futures and Carolina futures. Carolina's futures are done. Dallas's futures are most likely done now. But thankfully, and like I say, I'm not much of a hedger, but thankfully I did get a little piece of Vegas and Florida to win these two conference finals before the series started. So, it minimizes the damage. Doesn't make up for what would have been a nice little payday, if these two teams win the conference finals. But at least we minimize the damage a little bit, taking Vegas and Florida with the series bets before they began. So we'll see if this is it. And if this is it, no betcast. And no show on Saturday. Like, we're basically going to have a Saturday off. We're going to put up our feet and just have a nice relaxing Saturday if this series ends tonight. We'll have no daily show at noon. We'll have no betcast, obviously, at night. But if Vegas or Dallas does happen to win tonight, we will have a show Saturday at noon, and we will have our betcast as planned at 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturday night. But Dallas got to take care of business first in order for that to happen. Speaking of the show, we do want to mention that, by the way, prop-wise tonight, I think if you're going to look at props, the one thing you can probably look toward is over saves on a hill for Vegas tonight, because one thing Dallas has to try to do is fire every puck they can at the net, which you expect from the team down 3-0 facing elimination. That was the philosophy I used with Sergei Bobrovsky last night, over 30.5 saves. We ended up cashing that prop bet last night, saying Carolina's got to shoot the puck early and often, and they did that last night. So I kind of expect Dallas will go down fighting like Carolina did. I do think so, but the question is, will it be enough to win? I'm not sure, but I think over saves with Adin Hill is probably a solid look here tonight in this game. And as far as shots on goal, if you're going to look at Dallas shots on goal individually, like last night, my favorite shot on goal props for Carolina were Burns, Nason, Aho, and Natchez. 3 of the 4 cashed. Only Nason didn't cash in his over shots prop because he got injured and left the game early. But Aho went over his shots. Natchez went over his shots on goal. Brent Burns went over his shots on goal. That's the players you want to target for Dallas tonight. Target Roope Hintz, Joe Pavelski, maybe Tyler Seguin, Wyatt Johnston. I think he'll shoot the puck quite a bit. Those are my 4 shots on goal props. I not guarantee because it's betting, but I'll say this: 3-1 or better. I feel confident it can be 3-1 or better with the result with these 4 shots on goal props. Wyatt Johnston, Roope Hintz, Tyler Seguin, Joe Pavelski over shots on goal tonight for the Dallas Stars. I think if you bet those 4 players over their shot on goal props, you'll go 3-1 or better in the game tonight. So definitely that's something I would look at in this one. And if I'm going to look at any kind of props on Dallas, Pavelski, I'm going to go down swinging with Joe Pavelski. The whole team got taken out of the game early. As long as they don't have that dismal, death-like start where they're down 3-0 in the blink of an eye again, then they're going to feel they're going to have a chance, and you're going to see them continue to push and try to generate offense. So if anyone's going to step up tonight for them facing elimination, it's got to be Joe Pavelski. He's my number 1 goal prop tonight, without a doubt, on the Dallas Stars. If someone's going to make a big impact for them, it's going to be him. He's done this before. Team facing elimination, going all the way back to his time in San Jose. He'd always seemed to score a big goal in a game like this with his team's back against the wall. So Joe Pavelski for sure. Anytime goal prop tonight, you can get that at around plus 190 at some spots. You could go with Johnston too for a little value. Hintz, Johnston, and Pavelski, my favorite goal props tonight on the Dallas Stars side. Vegas, Marchessault. Why not him? Why not Chandler Stevenson, man? This guy keeps making an impact. Barbashev's been a point-producing machine. I read something that he's got, I believe, 12 points in 13 playoff games for the Vegas Golden Knights, and he's plus 125 at DraftKings to get a point tonight. Ivan Barbashev, close shave Barbashev. I've always talked about that guy. He has been very good for this Vegas team and a great pickup for them from the St. Louis Blues. So the Barbashev point prop, plus 125, definitely screams value to me in this game tonight as well. All right, great stuff. That's Game 4 Western Conference Finals. We will be back to wrap up the show in just a second. Everyone in the chat, hit the like button. We appreciate it. We'll be back to, and by the way, patreon.com/Ice Guys, just $10 a month. Goalie charts, totals charts, power ratings, daily Ice Guys show, betting card, and of course, bonus video content. By the way, I'm going to record one on Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern time with Brett Pepler. He was on the show earlier this year. He's from Florida. He's busy as shit. He can't join us during one of the live shows, but he's going to do a pre-recorded one with me on Monday morning, and we'll get his thoughts. He's right there in the Miami area. That's where he lives. And he's gone to a bunch of these Panthers games. So we're going to get his thoughts and his take on the scene in South Florida with the Florida Panthers on their way to their first Stanley Cup final since 1996. So we'll have Brett's thoughts on that on Monday. That'll be a bonus Patreon exclusive for those of you that are watching or they're members on patreon.com/Ice Guys. So make sure you sign up and subscribe for that. Just $10 a month.
Yeah, also check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. We got everything in stock right now. We got the T-shirts, we got hats, we got hoodies, we've got everything. We got mugs. Check everything out right now, iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
All right, good stuff. We will be back to wrap up the show with best bets right after we hear from Manscaped. Support for the Ice Guys is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 7 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the promo code ICEGUYS. That's promo code ICEGUYS at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, it's about 14 million balls that you can preserve. The Performance Package 4.0 is the complete accessory package to take care of everything that is required. You've got, of course, the Lawnmower 4.0. Takes care of your facial hair and among other things. You've got, of course, the Weed Whacker. I'm approaching 40. Nose hair has become a major issue. It pisses the hell out of me. I need to take care of that shit, and the Weed Whacker can help you do that. Both of these products, waterproof and a 4000K LED spotlight for a more precise shave. And you'll also be able to take care of those delicate areas with the ball toner, with the ball deodorant, keep you smelling good, looking good, and feeling good down in the nether regions. This complete Performance Package 4.0 will take care of everything for you, for all you guys out there, and it's courtesy of our good friends at manscaped.com. So get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code ICEGUYS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. And use promo code ICEGUYS. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. All right, we are back and time to wrap up the show with best bets for Game 4 tonight, Western Conference Finals. Alex, we'll start with you. What do you like for best bet? Pretty simple. I think I know what it is.
Yeah, the Vegas Golden Knights regulation plus 145. The Dallas Stars, like I said, just completely gave up on this series. It was pretty evident with the way that they lost Game 3. I don't see where they have any kind of momentum heading into Game 4 here. This looks like it's the Golden Knights game to lose, and I don't think that's going to happen. So give me Vegas in regulation, plus 145. That is my best bet for tonight.
All right, Vegas Golden Knights in regulation, plus 145. Best bet for Alex B. Smith for Game 4 Western Conference Finals. Jordan Sambrook, a pleasure having you on the show. Great stuff. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had fun. and bring you back maybe down the road once again on the show. But Jordan, best bet tonight, Game 4. What do you like?
I'm thinking. I think the saves, the over on the saves for Aiden Hill and the Vegas Golden Knights. I think Dallas is going to go down swinging, and they got a lot of guys that shoot the puck. Robertson, Hintz, Pavelski, all these guys that shoot the puck. So that's what I'm going to ride on, and I think that's what I'm thinking is the best bet for tonight.
I like it. Aiden Hill over 28.5 saves. I mean, the number's not that bad. Now I know Vegas is good at suppressing shots. They're very good in terms of limiting shots on goal. But I think if you're Dallas tonight, I think that's why the prop is a little lower, 28.5. But I still think you can get over that because I think Dallas will shoot from anywhere mentality in a desperation, no tomorrow type of situation. So Aiden Hill over 28.5 saves for Jordan. Sambrook with his best bet. And my best bet, I'm going to go to the total tonight, over 5.5. We saw an over finally in Carolina, Florida last night, and it took an elimination game to finally see one go over the total. I'm going to take a shot that this game tonight also finds its way up and over the total. So Vegas, Dallas, over 5.5 plus 100, even money on that. That's going to be my best bet here for Game 4 tonight. Vegas, Dallas, over 5.5 plus 100. Great stuff. Jordan, thanks for joining us on the show. Appreciate it. And I guess for you, it's you're in Florida. It's back to the golf course now, right?
Back to the golf course. Yeah, no, I thank you guys so much for having me on. I really enjoyed that. And hopefully, looking forward to another one down the road.
Yeah, and certainly won't take too much to beat my sparkling, 106 or 110 or whatever score I'd post in a round of 18 holes. That's for sure. But great stuff. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Programming notice, no show tomorrow. Okay, we'll be off on Friday, obviously with no game, so there'll be no Ice Guys show tomorrow. And all I can say about Saturday is, fuck if I know. I don't know right now. I really don't. We'll see. If we have a Game 5 Saturday, we'll have an Ice Guys show at noon on Saturday, like normal, noon Eastern. And the BetCast will go on as scheduled, 8 p.m. Eastern, if Dallas wins tonight and forces a Game 5. If Vegas completes the sweep tonight, it's pretty much see you whenever. We don't even know because we don't know when this Cup final is going to start. Oh, one thing I can say is we do have a guest already scheduled earlier, like a week ago. We booked a guest for Monday. This coming Monday. So we will have a show Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and it will have a guest with us that day. We've already got it scheduled. So we will have a show for sure on Monday. But after that, other than that, it's up in the air. So it depends on what's going to happen here tonight with Game 4. But we will keep you alert and updated with that. Great stuff. Thanks to everyone for joining us. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, and Saturdays, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. I did want to throw out this, too. Rest in peace, Tina Turner. If you are too young to not be familiar with her or have heard much of her music, go listen to a greatest hits or something of Tina Turner. Great voice, powerful music, and she did a little everything, a little rock, little soul, little R&B, pop. She had a nice hybrid blend of musical genres in her music. She was a great talent. Rest in peace to Tina Turner. For Alex B. Smith, Alex, do you want to say something on that?
No, I'd say very well said. Yeah, absolutely. She was just a dynamic force and an incredible woman, and she will definitely be missed. Sure.
Who doesn't love Simply the Best? I mean, they've brought it back from the archives on these commercials lately. You see on television, you always see that song played on these commercials. Yeah, Thunderdome. Yeah, exactly. Incredible talent. She'll be missed for sure. And what a musical career she had. Great stuff. For Alex B. Smith, for our special guest, Jordan Sambrook, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Thursday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will talk to you again next time, whenever that may be, for the Ice Guys show presented by National Hockey Now.